Hey everybody, welcome. I'm so glad you've decided to join me today. I've got something that's a little bit of a throwback, but not really. Here's the thing. I'm going to use an older version of something that I found in Cricut Design Space. Actually, it's in Cricut Access, and it's for the New Year's Eve or sometime in the new year, right? It's going to be sparkly. I'm going to use glitter because I like to use glitter heat transfer vinyl. But what I'm going to do, and this is going to be perfect for you people who are new, who may have just gotten your Cricut Explorer or your Cricut Maker, this is going to show you how to use a few of the tools in Design Space. So follow me to my desktop and let's get started. Okay, this is what we're going to make, and it's really, really pretty. You can't really see the glitter right here of the HTV or the heat transfer vinyl, the iron-on vinyl, but it's gorgeous. But you can see it says 2019. And we need to change that number, so I'm going to teach you how to do that. So here, this is in Cricut Access, and if you'll notice, it tells you the materials you'll need and then other things that you may need as well, and it gives you instructions on how to do this. So we're just going to go ahead and say customize it because we don't want to make it just as it is. I'm going to click on customize, which is going to open it in its own new canvas. Okay, and here it is right here. Okay, now this is going to be really easy for us to change. If you notice right now, it's just one big cut file. If you look over here on the layers panel, which is fine. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this or make a copy of it. And for you newbies there, that's so easy to do. All you have to do is click on the image and then come way up here to the right where it says duplicate. Click on that and it will make a second one exactly like the first one. And look over in the layers panel. Now there are two of them exactly the same. So what we want to do is we want to change this one on the left. So instead of saying 2019, it says 2020. Well, since we made a duplicate of this one, that would be a simple way for us to get the numbers 20 out of here and put them on this one. But the first thing we need to do is get rid of the 19 over here. So to do that, I click on this image over here, and then I'm going to come way over here to the bottom right where it says contour, and I'm going to click on the word contour. Now what that's going to allow me to do is to get rid of things I do not want to cut. So I do not want the 1 and the 9 here to cut. So I'm going to contour them out. So I'm going to come over here to the contour button, as I said, click on that, and here's everything that's in here, and notice it says hide contour. On image below, select outline portions to turn cut off and on, and we want to turn the cut off of the 1 and the 9. Now if I just do that, let's look and see what happens. I can tell you what's going to happen right now. See these places that have like darker lines around them? That means they're still going to cut. Look right here. This is going to cut perfectly, and this is not going to cut because there's no dark line. But what do you see in the middle of the 9 right here? One of those dark lines. We don't want that to cut, but I'll show you. So let's X this out, and look, there it is. So we don't want that to cut, so that's not right, but we can easily fix that by highlighting the same image again and just coming back over here to where it says contour, and I can click on this dark little circle to get rid of it, which means it's contoured out. It's no longer going to cut. Let's X this out. Okay, that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. But we also wanted to say 2020. Now, where am I going to get the other 20 easily? Well, you remember that one we duplicated in the beginning? That's the ticket. Let me show you. What we're going to do is we're going to come over here, way over here to the Shapes tool. Way over here. Click on the Shapes tool, and I'm going to click on the square. And once the square comes in, just going to bring it right over here and make it so it's just at the just covering the top of the 2020 like that. Then I'm going to use this double-headed arrow and make it smaller. But while I make it smaller, I'm going to move it to make sure it's still covering all of the number, and it's not. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to unlock this lock, and it's going to allow me, instead of just being able to move it like this proportionately, it's going to allow me to move it however I'd like. Now again, I'd like it to be just at the top, just covering the top of the 2020. And I might as well move it over here to the left so it's covering that. So what we need to do then is skinny it up like this, because I don't want any of that bottom line. And then I can drag it this way. So now all of the number 20, all of those numbers are covered. So what I can do now is just click on this black piece, hold down my Shift key, click on the other part of the image. So notice there are two things selected in the layers panel. Whenever you're going to slice something, there has to be two things selected, and only two. If you have less than two things selected, it won't work. If you have more than two things selected in the layers panel, it won't work. But look over here. We have this dark box selected, and we have this selected. So we have two things. So slice is available to us. So I'm going to click on slice. And it doesn't look like it did a whole lot, but watch this. I can drag this box out of here, and I don't really need that anymore. So I'm going to exit out. I can drag this out. And actually, I'm going to use this, I think. I think I'll use the darker one. It will be easier for me to see, but I can X this one out. So now I'm going to bring this dark one right over here, just dragging it over, holding my mouse down. I'm going to put it right on top of that one like that, so it covers it perfectly. And then all I have to do is hit the arrow on my keyboard, and it'll begin moving it over to the right. Okay, so I don't need to move the up and down arrow because I want it aligned perfectly. If I go too far, all I have to do is hit the other arrow going in the other direction to bring it back. And it might be a little close. Let's see. I'm going to click off of this and see how it looks. Okay, I think that looks perfect. So once again, we're going to slice. So the rule is two things and only two things selected. Well, these numbers are as a group. Look over here. They're only one layer, so that's fine. If I hold down my Shift key and grab over here, the outside part, that's another layer. So once again, we have two and only two things selected, so I can slice. Come down here to the very bottom and click on slice. All right, doesn't look like it did anything, right? But check this out. I can move this out and delete it, and I can move this out and delete it. And now we actually no longer need this box over here on the right. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to be putting this on a black shirt because I think the gold sparkly will look really pretty. I'm just doing this as a sample for you. When I make mine, I'm going to do it on a long sleeve shirt, a prettier long sleeve shirt. But right now I'm just going to show it to you on a t-shirt. So let's put a little black. Actually, we can come up here to the templates. Look at these templates up here. These are just so that we can see how something's going to look. So let's get a t-shirt. Just a plain t-shirt. Look at all these things we can check. Here we go. I'll just do it on a scoop neck t-shirt. And it says here the templates are for reference only and will not be saved with your project, which we don't care about because we don't need it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on this template and I'm going to change its color. So right here I can change it to black for the t-shirt, and I actually can come over here and even change it to the type of t-shirt it is. So we'll say it's a woman's short sleeve, which is what I'm going to use. Okay, and so one of these is the front and one is the back. So we're going to see how this is going to look now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over onto the front of the t-shirt like that, just so we can see what it's going to look like. And then I'm going to scroll in a bit so we can see better. how it's going to look. And I think that's going to be perfect, right like that. It's going to be so pretty when I show you what I'm going to make it out of. Now, let's pretend like we're ready to make it. We're going to leave it the size it is because I love this size, about 9 inches wide for my shirts I like. So as a matter of fact, I could change this if I wanted to. Right here where it says size, I would leave the lock locked so it was change the size proportionately, and I could change this to a 9, and when I hit enter you'll notice it also changed the height. So that's what I'm going to do, just like that. So now all I have to do is say to make it, and it's going to go onto my gold just like this. So I could say continue down here in the lower right hand corner, and in a minute we need to do something really important. Now I have an Air 2 machine, so that's what I'm going to cut mine on. And I always like to leave my machine on custom material, so I select it every time so I don't forget. Excuse me. So I'm going to browse all materials, and right here where it says all categories, I'm going to change mine to iron on. Now, as I said, I'm using an Explorer Air 2. If you're using a Maker, yours will be a little bit different, but very, very similar. And I'm going to choose glitter iron on, because that's what I'm using, and say done. And now look at this little note it says right here, make sure mirror is turned on and the material is placed bonded side up on the mat. So basically that's telling me to make sure for my iron-on, glitter iron-on, that the shiny side of my material is down. And I do need to mirror this. If I don't, it won't work. It'll be backwards on my shirt. So I'm going to click on Edit. And right here I can turn mirror on. So watch the word hello. And that's the way I need it to cut. So I'll say done. Okay. So all I need to do now is go put this, load this on my mat and take it through my machine and cut it. And then I'll be right back. Okay, I have already done this. I've already cut it and weeded it. It's beautiful, sparkly. So now I'm ready to put it on my t-shirt. But before I do that, I love to put these pads in here because I think it gives it extra pressing. I do have a pressing surface below here so I don't melt my other mat. So I like to put these things inside. First I line this up. Careful, okay. Then I'll put this inside. I'll have a link for it down below. When you buy these mats, you actually get more than 3 sizes. I think you get about 5 sizes. There's one that fits in a pocket, one that fits on a sleeve in case you want to put something going down the side of a sleeve, and you don't want the seams to get in the way. And this one, and then a much larger one. So I really like using these a lot. So the next thing I would do is just place this down on here. And it's going to fit perfectly. That looks pretty straight. I just kind of eyeball it. Actually, maybe move it up just a hair. There we go. All right. And then I always use a Teflon sheet. Not everybody does, but I like to. Always use a Teflon sheet. And I have my Easy Press heating, and it's at 320 degrees, and I'm going to do it for 15 seconds. So I'll have to do it twice because this is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And I'm giving it some good pressure. All right, and then I'm going to do the other part. Okay, take this off and let's see how it did. Oh, it looks beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's pretty. Look at that. Beautiful. And I might just give it one more shot. Some people say to go ahead and do it from the other side too as well. So just give it another shot, maybe 5 seconds or so, and maybe 10. Okay, in there. And I do think that Cricut recommends that we do turn these over and do it from the back. I'll have to take my pad out of there first. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so pretty. You know, the glitter never shows up as pretty on a video as it does in real life, but boy, oh boy, oh boy. And by the way, I forgot to tell you that before I did put that mat in there, I did pre-press this to get the moisture out of it. So before I put the mat in, I did go with it with my Cricut like this, and I pre-pressed it because that gets the wrinkles out and it gets any moisture out of it. I forgot to tell you that. So that is it. I hope that you can see the sparkle on that. So pretty. OMG, very pretty. So that was it. That's how easy it is just to change up some stuff. If you have a suggestion for something you'd like me to teach you, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for joining me, and I hope you're enjoying your new machine. Bye-bye.